What's going on, y'all? It's your man Pristine back with another video. Welcome to the unboxing for the Moto G7. Now this is the newest addition to the Motorola lineup here in 2019. Motorola's first batch of gadgets that they've released, or mobile devices that they've released in 2019. We've got the Moto G7 here being the most premium of the three. I believe there's the Moto G7 here, there's the Moto G Power, and then there's the Moto G Play. And I know that there's also a Moto G Plus, and I think the only difference between the Moto G7 here and the Moto G7 Plus is the fact that the Plus has a Snapdragon 636 processor. The Moto G7 here has a Snapdragon 632 processor, and the 632 processor is the standard processor through all three variants, no matter which one you get, whether they be this one, the Moto G Power, which has like a big 5,000 milliamp hour battery or something like that, and then even the Moto G Play. But as you go down the line, I mean, you know, they scale back a little bit. There's different prices for each one of them. The Moto G7 here being the most expensive one, which is $299. And so this is the mid-range category here. And, you know, Motorola, they've been the budget, you know, champion, you know, for last couple 3 years or so. And so, you know, we're going to see here if the Moto G7 proves to uphold that that reputation for Motorola. So really quick before we crack it out the box, what we've got here, I just mentioned the price, that being one of the most important specs. We've got a 6.2 inch IPS LCD 1080 by 2270 full HD plus display. We've got a 19:9 aspect ratio covered in Corning Gorilla Glass 3. We've got a PPI pixel density of 405. We've got a screen to body ratio of 81.4%. All right. The internal specifications: Snapdragon 632 processor. We've got an octa-core CPU and Adreno GPU of 506. We've got 64 gigs of onboard storage that can be expanded up to 512 gigs, 4 gigs of RAM. We are running Android 9 Pie fresh out of the box. Now the cameras, we've got a dual lens setup on the rear. We've got a 12 megapixel primary sensor, a 5 megapixel depth sensor, and we do have 4K recording with this camera. With the rear camera, we've got 4K and 1080p recording. 1080p you record at 30 or 60 frames, 4K 30 frames. Selfie camera is an 8 megapixel sensor. 1080p at 30 frames per second is what you get, and I think you can scale that down to 720p as well. Now, as far as the battery, we've got a non-removable 3000 milliamp hour battery. We do have Type-C 2.0 with a 15 watt fast charger, and so this phone should charge up pretty swiftly. All right. Now, the colors you can get this phone in, you can get ceramic black and clear white. And just to me, the clear white looked the better of the two, and so the clear white is what this is. Okay, now other notable features, we've got Bluetooth 4.2. We don't have Bluetooth 5.0, but we've got Bluetooth 4.2. We've got Face ID. We've got a fingerprint reader that is rear mounted. We've got NFC for the European models. Okay. We've got a 3.5 millimeter jack. So those of you that like to plug in, you will be blessed with the ability to still do so with your new Moto G7 if this is your next device. We've got dual speakers. So we now have a speaker that comes out of the earpiece at the top of the phone, and a speaker out of the loudspeaker on the bottom of the device now. Okay, we've got the Moto gestures. There is no IP rating for this phone, but it is splash resistant. So, you know, if you get a little bit of rain on it, or you get a few little drops of this or that on it, your phone still should be good to go. Another one of the things that I love about this device is that it is GSM and CDMA unlocked. Okay, I've got one line with T-Mobile, which is my primary line. I've got like 4 or 5 lines with Verizon. You know what I mean? And it sucks because a lot of phones that I get are more so GSM enabled as opposed to CDMA. But with the G7 here, I can put any SIM card in here: Sprint, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, you know, all the other lower tier carriers, you know, Metro PCS, Cricket Wireless, Boost Mobile, Virgin Mobile, any SIM card I want to throw in this phone, I can do it and it's going to work. This phone supports every single antenna band from all the carriers that are out there. I know that with Sprint, they do some of their cell services a little different because they don't always operate with SIM cards. And so I didn't get all the details, but it said if you were going to use this phone with Sprint, that there was some, I think you would have to like contact Sprint or something like that, and they would have to assist you with the initial setup. It's not as easy as just putting the SIM card in the device and then boom, you've got service. Okay, but for Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, you simply just slap your SIM card in this bad boy, turn it on, and you're good to go. All right, you're good to go. So the body, it's 172 grams, 8 millimeters in thickness. Okay, for those of you that that kind of thing matters. Now, the presentation, typical Motorola fashion. Moto G7 there on the left of the box. You see Motorola Moto G7 there. Also on the right of the device, got some little color at the top, and then on the bottom we've just got some information here. Tells a little bit about the phone's features and functions, all that kind of thing. Bottom, serial numbers, IMI information, all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and crack the box. I've already cut the tape. Okay. Let's file the box to the side there. Okay. Here is the phone. And let's go ahead and get this plastic off of it. And like I said, this is the clear white. Beautiful. Look at that. Very nice, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, Corning Gorilla Glass 3 on the front and the back. And the other thing that I liked about the white one too is how you got that silver finish around the sides, the bottom. Very slick look. Okay. The black one is just all black. It's just too plain. Okay, there's our rear mounted fingerprint sensor, which is very different for a Motorola device because a lot of their fingerprint sensors are right here on the bottom where that Motorola sign is. Okay, so let's go ahead and power on the device, and I'll set it aside while it's booting up while we go through the rest of the contents there. And there you can see that beautiful 6.2-inch display. Okay. This is the little tray that the phone was sitting in. There's our information. I was thinking that there was going to be a case in here, but I was sadly mistaken. And here we've just got the Moto G7 README. Here is our SIM ejection pin here. And this is our legal, safety, and regulatory information. All right. So we'll file all that stuff aside real quick. Here is our 15-watt wall adapter with Motorola. It says turbo power on it. All right. And then here is our Type-C port. You guys can see that there. That plugs into the bottom of the phone. And that's how we charge our device. Okay. So back to the device. All right, y'all. So again, here's that beautiful 6.2-inch display right here. And as you can see, we've got the dewdrop right there. That's our 8-megapixel camera right there. And then right above that, if you could see, there's a little slit right there at the top. Maybe you can see that in the glare right there. I think that's a pretty good shot of it right there. That's our ear receiver. Okay. Okay. And then bottom of the device right there, that's the secondary speaker right there. So as you can see, 6.2 inches corner to corner. To the right of the device, we've got the power button. There is some rigidity right there. I mean, so you can distinguish between the power button versus the volume rockers, which are right next to one another. Top of the device, we've got our SIM tray and a noise canceling microphone. To the left of the device, it is clean. We've got nothing. Bottom of the device, again, bottom firing speaker, Type-C port, and then here's our 3.5 millimeter jack. Okay. Now, back of the device, we've got another little noise canceling microphone right there. Here's our rear mounted fingerprint sensor, and then here is our camera system right there. As I said, one 12 megapixel sensor, the other one is a 5 megapixel depth sensor. And you can see there the camera, it does have a little bit of a hump on it, you know, so I think by putting this phone in a case, it should alleviate that. But I mean, if you set the phone down, well, it's pretty flat. It's not rocking. It's got a little bit of a rock to it, but that's with me just putting a little bit of force to it. But I mean, just tapping on it, it's not gonna move. But me personally, I mean, rather than just having your phone just sitting on a surface, scratching up the lens and everything like that, man, or just scratching up the casing that it's in, which could very much interfere with your photos, just put it in a case. Pretty much any case that you put this phone in, it's going to provide a little bit of a lip over the camera, so even if it's flat on its back, the camera's not going to be touching the surface. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and get my information dropped in, and then real quick, I know that people have had questions as to whether or not this phone was a dual SIM, and I'm not sure, so let's find out real quick by just popping out the SIM card tray. Boom, yes. So it is a dual SIM situation, you know, so we've got dual nano SIM, or you could put a SIM card in there, a nano SIM and an SD card slot, or SD card for memory expansion. So those of you that were wondering whether or not that it was a dual SIM, dual hybrid SIM, or just a single SIM, question answered. All right, we do have dual SIM capabilities here, or a nano SIM and an SD card for memory expansion. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead, close the video real quick, drop my information in the device, and then I'll be right back and we'll go over the software a little bit. All right, hold it down. All right, y'all, so we're back in. We are at the home screen desktop, and as you can see, things are looking absolutely gorgeous here. Again, this is an IPS LCD panel. Doesn't have to be AMOLED in order for it to be a very good looking panel. This display is absolutely beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. 6.2 inches corner to corner. I mean, definitely, you know, that top end design trend, you know, that we're following now in 2019. You know, phones are trying to, you know, figure out, you know, how they can take full advantage of a screen and different innovative things to do with the front facing cameras and sensors and so forth. And so as you can see here on the G7 here, we've got the little teardrop notch. Credit that to the Essential phone. They're the ones that did it first. And, you know, I just like to give credit where credit is due, man. You know, people talk about these notches and who did this first and that first. The Essential phone was the first phone to drop that had the notch, and it was the teardrop notch. And then iPhone released the iPhone 10 that had the different design notch, and then everybody just started copying and following that particular trend. And it just seemed like the Essential phone was just on to something, you know what I mean? It's kind of seemed like the Essential phone was ahead of its time as far as its design, and Andy Rubin and company attempting to take full advantage of the screen real estate on the phone, and not put this big notch on there, you know, because they didn't have anywhere else to put sensors and cameras and things of that nature. So, you know, credit the Essential PH1. I understand that the Essential PH2 is in the works. I'm very excited about that. I hope that's something that we get blessed with here in 2019. But for here now, you know, we've got the Moto G7 here before us, and it is really good thus far. Now, I didn't download any of my applications because I just wanted to give you guys an idea of everything that came preloaded on the device. Not a lot of bloatware. Typically, Motorola devices are pretty stock Android experiences. Android 9 Pie is on board fresh out of the box. As you can see, we swipe up. We do have a dedicated dark mode. And my understanding is that's going to be a feature that's going to be standardized through all devices that have Android 9 Pie. So that's a beautiful thing. And you can set it up to where the dark mode can be enabled based on different wallpapers that you have. So if you have a dark wallpaper and then, you know, you scroll up into your app drawer, then because of the darkness in the wallpaper, then that's going to create the darkness in the background for your apps list here in your drawer. Or you can just choose dedicated dark mode for just, you know, a dark mode theme. And how you do that is you go into settings, you go into display, you go into advanced, you scroll all the way down, and then you go into device theme. You've got device theme, automatic based on wallpaper, light or dark. You click on dark, and then it's going to darken everything. Now, the thing that I wish that it would do, kind of like what we see in the OnePlus devices, is when you put on dark mode theme, it darkens everything. So here in the settings menu, that's still light. I would prefer, I mean, to me, dark mode is dark mode. You know what I'm saying? I mean, any mode on the phone is going to be dark. So can't say that I'm a huge fan of that. You know, you turn on dark mode, but then when you go into your settings, it's still a white backdrop. But I mean, is that a determining factor? No, it's not. You know what I mean? I just like the fact that, hey, you know, when I scroll up into my app drawer there, then boom, you know what I'm saying? We've got a dedicated dark mode there. You know what I mean? So that's a plus for me. Scroll to the right, we have our Google Now feed, which, as you can see, is buttery smooth. And interestingly enough, you know, some devices, when I go to my Google feed, as you're scrolling through, it's kind of choppy as it's loading the information, and it kind of stutters a bit, little hiccup here and there, kind of glitchy. Not the case here on the G7. Okay, it's nice and buttery smooth as it ought to be. Okay, so Motorola, they've had that name for being having the top budget devices and even mid-range devices. You know what I'm saying? And so the G7 here, so far is looking like it's going to continue to hold that crown. We'll see if something can come out to dethrone this, but I mean, this is really good. Not a lot of stuff on here as far as bloat is concerned. I mean, we've got Amazon shopping. I'll keep that because I do shop on Amazon often, which is actually where I bought this phone, and the link will be in the description down below if you want to purchase from Amazon. But even though this isn't the Amazon branded variant, which would be cheaper in price, I noticed that there was a lot of Amazon applications on here. And what I did was I just put them into a folder, but we have Amazon Alexa. So Alexa is enabled on the G7 here. We've got Amazon Music, Amazon Photos, Amazon Audible, and then Alexa again. And so if that's not something that you use, you can get rid of them if that's what you would like to do. Now scroll down from the top. This is going to get you to your quick toggle. Scroll down again. That's going to bring down any notifications that you may have, along with the other list of quick toggles that you may have. Now these can be customized. You just hit that little pin right there, and you can just use your finger to click and drag, the little toggles where you want them. If there's more toggles that you want to add to your list of frequent quick toggles, then you can take those from the bottom here and drag them up to the top so that they'll be in your list. All right. And so again, go into settings. We've got network and internet, connected devices, apps and notification, battery. As you can see, we're at 33% right now. Display, sound, storage, and so this is a 64 gig variant. Again, it can be expanded through micro SD to 512 gigs. Out of 64 gigs, we've got 22% used, and so we've got 49.75 gigabytes free. Okay, so I haven't downloaded any applications on this phone, so out of the box, you're going to get the preloaded apps that are already installed on the device are going to be 22% of your 64 gigabytes of storage. Okay, so be mindful. So when you crack this phone out of the box, you really only have 49.75 gigabytes free. Okay, security and location, Moto, accounts, accessibility, Google, Alexa, system, help. Now, if we go into system really quickly, this is going to give us the general information about the device here. Moto G7, you go about phone, gestures. These are some other gestures that you can choose. Swipe fingerprint for notification, that's on. And what that is just if you swipe down on the fingerprint sensor, that's just going to bring down your notifications like so. You swipe up to get rid of them. You can double press the power key to launch Alexa. And I believe that can be changed. And so you can do double press power key to do nothing to launch Alexa or launch the camera. Typically, it's launch the camera, but I don't ever use that feature anyway. So I will just turn that off. And then prevent ringing. And so it's press power and volume together on vibrate. And so that's a quick way to change the phone from ringing if you just want to put it on vibrate mode really quickly. All right, now date and time, backup, legal information, regulatory information, advanced. All right, and so let's see, you got Motorola privacy, reset options, multiple users, system updates. As you can see, we are on Android 9 Pie right there. Okay, and if we go into about phone, this is where we see a lot of the phone's information. So device name, Moto G7, phone number, block that out. SIM status, as you can see, Verizon Wireless. As I said, this phone is GSM and CDMA unlocked, which is huge. So right away I got, I threw my Verizon SIM card in there, picks it up just like that. Software variant, software channel, Amazon hardware information. Okay, so going to hardware information, this is where we see a lot of the phone's information. 4 gigs of RAM, ROM size 64, display 22 by 70 by 1080, camera, front camera 8 megapixel, rear 12, and a secondary 5. Okay, and so if we go back, IMI information, and again, Android version, 9 right there. Android security patch January 1st, 2019. So we do have the latest security patch. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Now, if you go to Moto, then we go to Moto Actions. These are all the different Moto Actions. So you got lift to unlock. So if the phone is sitting on a flat surface, you can lift it to unlock it. We've got media controls, and that's use the volume keys to change tracks when screen is off when you're listening to music. That's pretty dope. Okay, screenshot editor. I got that turned off because I'm probably not going to use that. 3-finger screenshot. Touch the screen with 3 fingers to take a screenshot. So it's not one of those things where you have to slide your fingers down. You just touch the screen with 3 fingers and boom, there's your screenshot right there. Okay, and then it just saves it automatically. Go ahead and delete that. Just want to show that as a demonstration. Then we've got 1-button navigation. So it's navigate through your phone using just 1 button. I'll play with that in a little while. We got fast flashlight. That's when you flick of the wrist to turn on your flashlight. So you see the, oh, what happened? Oh, that, oh, so that was the camera. Okay, so my bad. So what you do is chop. I forgot. Okay, so chop twice. Boom, boom. That turns on your flashlight. Turn it off. Chop twice again. Boom, boom. Flashlight is off. Okay, so that's how you do that, and that's a feature that I love with Motorola. And then you've got swipe to shrink. Okay, so let me see. Make the screen smaller with the simple swipe. That you have to swipe across the navigation key. That's your one-handed mode. I just have to figure out how to do that. Oh, okay. So there's the little tutorial right there. So you just take your finger from like mid-screen and okay, show me how. Oh, okay, so it's just boom, there it is. Okay, so there's your one-handed mode just like that. And you can do it with either side. Boom. And there's your one-handed mode right there if you want to do it on the left. Okay, so we're done with that. Okay. Okay, so that's your swipe to shrink. Pick up the silence. So if your phone is ringing and you want to silence it, just pick it up and it's going to silence the device. And then flip for do not disturb. Flip for DND. I got that turned off, but you can just flip your phone over. You know what I'm saying? For do not disturb. All you cats out there living that creep life, you know what I'm saying? If you with your main thing, you know what I'm saying? Or you with your side piece and you know she be bugging, you know what I'm saying, when your main thing call, then hey man, you just take the phone, put it on his face, and you're not going to receive any calls or text messages or anything like that. I mean, it just puts the phone on do not disturb. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, y'all out there living that creep life, man, hey, this may be the phone for you. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't got to go through anything complicated. All you got to do is just turn your phone on its face and it's good to go. You know what I'm saying? Now, your lady may ask you some questions as to, okay, how come your phone's on your face? You hiding something? You trying to hide something? Just tell her, look, man, hey, I paid this bill for this phone. I paid for this phone. It's my phone. I want it on his face. You know what I'm saying? And that should be the end of that. All right? You know what I'm saying? Yo. Don't get your heads knocked off. All right, because these women ain't playing no games, man. I'm just playing with y'all. All right, now, so those are the gestures. Now, really quickly to really access the camera. All right, so to quickly access the camera, what you want to do is you just want to flick the phone twice, just a quick flick of the wrist, boom, boom. And there's your camera right there. Okay, now if you want to switch it to the selfie camera, and that switches it to the selfie camera right there. All right, and you know, this camera, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty dope. It's pretty dope. All right, so I've already taken a lot of photos just around the house with this phone, or just before, you know, after I got it set up and was just messing with the camera. But just really quickly, just the different modes that we've got. We've got portrait mode, we've got cutout mode, split color, cinematograph, panorama, video modes. We've got slow motion, time lapse, YouTube live, and so we can record live to YouTube straight from this device. So that's pretty dope right there. All right, now under the settings, we've got rear camera settings. Okay, we've got 4x3, 16x9, 19x9, 4x3, 8 megapixel, 16x9, 6 megapixel, and 19 by 9 5 megapixel. Okay, so you've got some options there. Video size, Full HD 1080, that can be scaled up to 4K at 30 frames per second. We do have, so it goes 4K, Ultra HD, 30 frames per second, Full HD 1080p at 60 frames per second, Full HD 1080p at 30 frames per second, and then HD 720p at 30 frames per second. Okay, so if you guys can see that. All right. So we do have 4K recording on this phone. Now, for the selfie camera, photo size 4x3, 8 megapixel. That can be changed to 16 by 9, 6 megapixel, or 19 by 9, 5 megapixel. All right. Video size for selfie camera is just Full HD 1080p at 30 frames per second, or HD 720p at 30 frames per second. All right. Save settings. You got formal mode, manual mode, JPEG, storage, save location, capture settings, quick capture, tap anywhere to capture, all in focus, shutter sound, assistive grid. So I'll turn that on because I like to have that. We'll turn on the leveler as well. Watermark. Yeah, let's turn the watermark on so I'm not confused, because I take so many photos with different phones, and sometimes I go to my Google Photos and I don't know which pictures I took with which device, with what device. So let's see. By Pristine's, jeez, I can't spell. All right, let's just say G7. Boom, and there it is. So there's the watermark right there. Logo and signature for the watermark. All right. It's pretty dope how you can just type something down there, and whatever you type down there, that's what it's going to show on the watermark. I'll probably go back and change that to Pristine's G7. All right. Now, we've got auto smile capture, Google Lens, and then we've got help, play tutorials, and open source licensing. All right. That's all we've got for the camera there. All right, now we do have HDR. We have flash, on, off, or auto. It's on auto. We have the timer. We have active photos, and so that's just like live photos on iOS, where when you snap a photo, then it takes like the first couple seconds before the shot actually takes an image, and so when you go back and look at it, then you can see just little movements leading up to the actual shot. You can turn that on or off. And then here is our auto or manual mode. I mean, so right now it's on auto. When you put it on manual, the manual is pro mode. Okay, so when you hit pro, then this is where you have the ability to change the white balance, the shutter speeds, you know, and all that kind of thing there. You know what I mean? You've got your little grids right there that you can, you know, auto. Yeah, you can change all that stuff. You know what I mean? I typically don't play with all that stuff. I mean, fortunately for me, a lot of the phone cameras that I've had have been, you know, decent at best. You know what I'm saying? I mean, or they were, you know, at the least they were decent, or they were just really good. You know what I mean? I mean, so I can't say that I've had just like a camera that was just total trash. Well, that Asus Zenfone 5 that I did last year in 2018, that camera was trash. And my understanding is that it got some updates and it got much better, but that camera, ladies and gentlemen, was absolutely atrocious. That is one camera that I can say was trash. And that was just my personal experience with the device. I mean, so my understanding is that a lot of other people that have that device had better luck, much better luck with the camera. But my personal experience with it, and considering that it was a first impression with that particular device, first impressions mean a lot. And the fact that I'm huge on camera performance, one of the main determining factors as to whether or not I'll get a phone. If it's not a good look that first or second go round, I'll give it a chance. You know, I'll try to tweak some things, but even after tweaking some things, it just wasn't working out. You know what I mean? So, but thankfully for me, I have not had another experience like that since that took place. And so, really quickly, under the camera, let's see. I was at a hair show earlier and I took a bunch of photos with the device before I got anything set up, just because I just wanted to see how the phone was going to perform. And a lot of these photos that I took, now see, that's the live photo right there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And you can turn that off if you want to. All right. And of course, the standard photo application is Google Photos. And so this is one of the first photos that I took with the device right here. Okay. Beautiful looking photo right there. Now this is a selfie that I took. And I mean, the camera is just so on point. I mean, the color accuracy is just so spot on with the lighting in the room at the time that I was recording the video earlier. I mean, yeah, I'm really looking forward to shooting some more photos with this phone. So definitely stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for the dedicated camera review that's going to be coming for this device, and then that's going to be followed by the full pristine review. Now, oddly, well, I don't want to say oddly, I mean, it's a little different, but for Motorola devices, their fingerprint sensor is normally down here on the front, where that little Motorola logo is down there at the bottom, but it's been moved to the back there, and it's pretty fast. I mean, so you just barely tap it and the phone opens just like that, and it works 100% of the time. Okay, so you tap it, the phone vibrates, letting you know that you put your you did what you needed to do in order for it to recognize your fingerprint, and it's going to unlock. Now, we do have facial recognition as well, and so again, when the phone is on its back, you can just raise it up to turn on the screen, and then what we're going to see is, well, I guess I got to turn the home screen. Okay, it was just working a second ago. I wonder why is that? Things will work just fine, and then as soon as you get in front of the camera, then it just doesn't work as advertised. Okay, so raise up the phone. Okay, I'm not sure if that did that. Hold up one second. Let's try it again. Okay. Oh, so yeah. So it is unlocked. So it's just okay. So it unlocked, but it just didn't. You still have to swipe up with your thumb to take it to your desktop. Okay. So actually, the first time it did unlock, and I felt a little vibration, but I'm like, okay, I was waiting for something to happen on the screen. But that little lock, boom. So there it is, right there. Now it just went straight to the desktop. Okay. So the facial recognition, it's pretty accurate. It's quick. You know, so you've got a pretty fast facial recognition, a really fast fingerprint sensor to unlock your device. Man, Moto G7, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I've got for the unboxing. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons of more videos like this one. Definitely keep it locked here because I've got so much more content to come. Again, stay tuned because I'm going to have the dedicated camera video and the full pristine review for the Moto G7. Be sure to hit that notification bell so that when those videos go live, along with a lot of other devices that I'm going to be reviewing, then you'll get first to be notified about those videos, and you can check them out, get down in the comments, hit me with any questions, comments, or feedback that you may have, and I'll do my absolute best to answer your questions through the little messaging application on YouTube, or just by answering your question in future videos that I may do with these devices. All right. So again, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you coming by to my channel. Much love to all of my subscribers. If you're new to the channel, man, much love. I'm happy that you stumbled across my channel and found something that captivated you to warrant the subscription. Much appreciated. I'm going to continue to do my thing, which is getting my hands on these devices and making these detailed videos for you guys to help you guys make an informed decision on what your next smartphone purchase may be. I know that my videos are lengthy, but I do that because my videos are more geared towards teaching. I want you guys to know just about everything that you possibly need to know before you commit to spending your money on one of these devices. All right, that's the whole purpose of the videos being as long as they are, because I like to cover as much as possible. There's only so much that you can do with the phone while it's on demo mode down at your local Best Buy or wherever they may be selling a device. You know what I mean? I'm giving you some real world usage, real world, testing, going through the settings and showing you this, showing you that, you know what I mean? And it seems to pay dividends. It helps a lot of people, and that makes me feel good. That's all I want to do here, is help you out. It gives me an opportunity to play with all this new tech that comes out. I'm a tech nerd, have been for years and years, especially when it comes to mobile phones. And so this is just something that I love to do, and I'm glad that you guys appreciate the work that goes into making these videos and helping you guys out with this information. All right, much love to you guys. All right, so keep it safe. Get spiritually fit in 2019. We're definitely living in the last days. God is always really ready to start over, no matter where you're at in your life, no matter what your circumstances are. Just trust and believe in Him, and wherever you're at, that's where He'll meet you. No matter how dire your situations may be, if you trust and believe in Him, He'll take you out of that. All right? I'm not going to preach. That's all I'm going to say about that. Keep it pristine in every aspect of your lives. This is the Moto G7 Unboxed. I'm your man, Pristine, bringing the content, the host. We'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.